All right, here we go live. So this call is being live streamed on the Layer 5 YouTube channel. All right. So welcome everyone to Layer 5 website meeting. Today is 21st of August and Monday. So happy Monday, everyone. I'll quickly share the link of meeting minutes in chat. Make sure you mark your attendance. So I see 21 people over here in the list. So we should be having at least 21 names over here. So with that, if you got webcams, don't be shy. So this call is being live streamed on YouTube. So make sure you open your webcams. All right. So I see a couple of new names. So if you're joining this call for the first time, you can say hi to the community, unmute yourself and give a quick introduction if you would like. So I see Abhinav Tripathi and Sonal Singh. So hi, welcome to the call. Would like to introduce?
Hi. I'm Abhinav. Hello.
Yeah, Abhinav, you're audible.
Okay. So this is my first call and first time I have contributed on this.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. If you would like to say a bit more about yourself, about your background, your college, school,
Yes.
anything.
I'm a final year engineering student currently pursuing computer science and engineering in Bangalore.
Okay, that's great. Welcome to the call, Abhinav.
Thank you.
All right. So I see, yeah, hearing.
No, sorry.
Okay, no issues. So anyone else joining for the first time? Feel free to unmute.
Hi,
All
I'm
right.
Hi, I'm Sonal, and thank you for like it's my first call also. I'm a front-end developer, and I'm based in Delhi, and I'm in my final year of engineering. Yeah, that's about it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, we'll be discussing lots of front-end good first issues that you can pick up in this call. So yeah, definitely. Nice to have you, Sonal. All right. So one more newcomer has introduced in chat. So Atre. So hi Atre, welcome to the call. All right. So with that,
Actually, I am Aditya. Actually, I have introduced myself in the newcomers meeting like 2 weeks back. So, hi everyone.
okay, that's cool. All right. So with that, let's start with topics. So first we'll be discussing items from layfile.io, then meshi.io, and then we'll be following up. So Prem, yep, you are ready to take the stage.
I'll share the screen. Prem and me have been working on the same part. Yeah. So this, I'll just talk about my part first. I have been working on this hero page of the product page and the all products part for this card section. And below the bottom 3 section, Prem has been working on it.
All right.
So there's one issue in the carousel part and the design, like I've been talking with Prem, and it's not fixed that we have to put a card over here or a carousel. So I'll just confirm it and then add it over here. Other than that, it's this pages, like the 2 sections are almost done. I have to take few suggestions from the members, community members, about whatever changes needs to be made. And yeah, that's about the top 2 sections. So I'll go down now and I'll like Prem can talk about this.
So basically I have implemented last 3 section of this particular page, and the first page is just like a call to action button which which a person can enter in our services, and the second part which I have implemented is the currently plans of uh, our products, and the third section is called call to action one. Here the client here the customer can directly go and can communicate or get a free demo with this particular section. Overall, the implementation of this products page was on the way, but there is some issue with UI part. So we have nearly uh, stopped this particular implementation because there was some issue with UI part.
Yeah. So this is a call. So you can discuss, say more about the what issues are you facing. So
Okay.
let's.
So basically, there was the issue with the current UX problems, and which me and Rex are going to propose to Lee, that design of buttons, and they aren't really meant for small devices, and there are issue with color palettes, and much more. We have made a list. Me and Rex has made some list to present to it to Lee, and after that we have to revamp the whole color palette thing, and the theme of the website. So that's the reason which I have left the implementation of this product page.
Oh, okay. Yeah. About the palette. So are you changing the whole palette that's mentioned in the brand guide? Because Ritik is also here with us. So Ritik can definitely point out if you could share that list now. Because
Okay.
I don't think we are making any changes to the main color palette or the theme.
Actually, me and Rex has came to the conclusion that the current uh, color palette is not that much of gives that much of variety, and it seems a bit of using some dull colors. So basically, and let's see, we are going to propose that that current color palette problem to Ritik and Lee.
Okay. Yeah. But for now, like I'll recommend to go what we have currently in the palette and what we decided on the products page.
Yeah,
So
and this particular page is nearly implemented as a whole, but there is only two section remaining, I think. So that carousel, only one section, only carousel item are the remaining, and everything else is completed, and leaving the buttons.
all right.
Any suggestions got it from your side?
Yeah, I just have one like query about the palace. Like, I'm not still clear why we are moving to a new, because you said the colors are not sufficient that are present in our color palette
Yeah,
currently.
because as you can see that the color at the background, it doesn't showcase our brand color. Like we have a little bit green tint, but the background is a whole lot of in between gray and gray, in between in nearby grays type. So basically, if we add some green tint over that particular background, it will resonate more, and it will looks kind of familiar type of color. So basically that was the part which we are trying to convey to the lead.
Just to clarify, sorry, if I can come in here, Gaurav,
Yeah,
if
Rex, go
that's
ahead.
okay. I think most of this conversation will most likely be had on the back end. I believe this call is basically for showcasing progress made so far, and so even though the implementation is going on fine currently, most of these conversations are already going on in the back end, and so hopefully we can come to a consensus eventually. But for now, like you mentioned, there's already an implementation going on ground. There are possible suggestions, possible iterations that could be made for this particular page. They can be dropped, and then they'll also be incorporated in whatever thing that is being implemented. But as for other things, as far as the color and all of that, there's no conclusive agreement yet, and so it's not necessarily what we should, have a back and forth about here for now. So I just thought I'd chip that in. Like I said, majority of the conversation is going on Slack and in the back end, and so it might just stay that way.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right. And Prem, if you just move to mobile view, let's see how it looks on mobile view too.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the laptop view, then the tablet view. And then the mobile view.
Okay. So the products page will be done this week with all the remaining changes. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else has comments or feedback for Prem and Shavini?
Okay. I have one. I wanted to point out that in the hero section, the 2 buttons there, I think we could try having just 1 button, because, for instance, if they click book a demo, where does it take them? Does it take them do they have to select which particular product to book a demo of, or are they getting an entire demo of the whole website? However, if you notice where the cards are, there was a smaller book a demo button inside each of those cards. So I think that feels more appropriate, because
Yeah.
the
Here
candidates-
one more button was there.
Yes, yeah,
But
exactly.
Prem today told me that we have to remove that button.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't get that feedback.
Actually, the 2 buttons at consecutively, and the components which they are using are having fixed width, and they can't be minimized. So it's making a mess there. So to remove
okay,
that
that was what
mess,
you pointed out earlier. Okay.
yeah.
I actually, there's actually a new design up on the Figma file for mobile view. So we might just think of seeing if we can implement something like that. It accommodates 2 buttons on that card, and it's not necessarily what is on the desktop that is shrunk down. It's just a different kind of component that we might try and see. Because of the resizing issues and responsiveness, we just probably have to create a mobile specific card for that purpose, so that at the end of the day we can have just 1 button up there that probably takes them, if they click it, it takes them, scrolls down on the page to where the products are, and they can have a preview of it. They want to book a demo of a particular product, they book it. So because having that book a demo button here, the usability is quite off, because where does it take you? What option does it give the user? I thought I'd chip that in. And apart from other obvious text content, which I know Prem will probably implement later, because all that is sorted out already.
Yeah, answer to Rex's question. Yeah, currently the book a demo button will take to a calendar booking. So that's also there on the homepage of the website. So it will go same over here. And
I was actually thinking it was for
yeah.
each product, but maybe I missed that part. I apologize. That's fine.
Yeah, no issues. That's fine. And Lee also have a question in chat with the answer. So about using a gradient on the headings instead of a solid yellow color. So Shavni, if you move to desktop view and scroll down.
In which section?
Yeah, about over here. Instead of this yellow, gradient would work. Plus, regarding having 2 buttons in cards, so there is also one comment from Lee. So it's by design, I think you have added 2 buttons on 1 card. Rex, I'm right.
Yeah, earlier there were 2 buttons only, and I was using Flex, like it was not fitting over here.
Since we have
also in the
learn
mobile
more
view.
also here, so that will take to a next particular section and subscribe. So 1 button is sufficient, since we have a link plus a subscribe button over here.
Yeah, because in the mobile view, it was creating some issue. Then we have to put the column view for buttons. So therefore we removed one button like Prem suggested. And yeah. Okay then.
All right.
Should I stop?
Yeah, I have, if you can share one more time, Shalini.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, if you close the elements panel, so
Which panel?
the elements panel. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
If you go to the hero section, top section,
Yeah.
here you can see that the padding on the hero section is not aligned, is more, less than the header navigation panel. So if you can increase the padding from the left, so that we have the we use a grid pattern in which we have the same padding from both ends. So in the hero section, and if you scroll down,
Okay, padding issue is
padding on left and yeah, and inside the experience section, yeah, to the third section if you scroll down. Yeah, here also, like on the left and right side,
okay.
text is over.
So this text, should we reduce? You want the width to be reduced?
Width to be consistent on overall.
Okay. So this width is fine, like the
Yeah.
cards. Okay.
Yeah, it should align with the
Okay, the
navigation,
full-
width
yeah,
of
full
the
content.
navigation. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Ritik, actually, as far as I can see that she has given that padding of 40 pixels from the left, and probably the nav will be near about 80 pixels from the left. So we are leaving out many white spaces there. What do you think?
Yeah, but like, we have all the pages, like most of the pages that we have uses that same padding on left and right side, so we should be consistent. We can reduce the image that we are using on the section size of that image a little bit, and
Okay, for as I can share my screen, I think probably. Let me share my screen. Entire screen allow. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, Prem,
Yeah.
we can see.
So basically, as you can see here, we can see that there is a nearly padding of 80 pixels, and the hero section is kind of falling off of this particular padding line, or this, and you can see here also. Actually, the layer file logo is pretty is on pretty done left side. So that's the problem, I think so, because if we leave that much of space, so we can't get the image fit on the proper on with proper size.
yeah, okay.
So that's the issue, I think so.
Okay, and okay.
All right. Rex would like to go next.
Okay, well, it's just quite briefly anyway, because of what I was going through the charts and I was going through the comments. I noticed Lee made some observations, but if I could just show what I was trying to explain earlier about the new design for the cards. It's a recent development. That's the cards on the product page now.
All right, yeah, go ahead.
This is what I was trying to point out earlier. So for those cards, I came up with this proposition, if this could work. And the idea behind this is so that it gives ample space. Once this button is clicked, see our products, the page scrolls down to this part of the page where the users are taken to the products in full form. Now the buttons are spread across the page like this so that it gives the users, because now they're using their thumbs to tap and not a mouse click anymore. And so for usability reasons, the buttons have to be extended, or they have to have a little more surface area, because it's not a mouse click anymore. And that's why I felt the buttons have to, you know, extend or span the width of the card as much as the padding can allow. And then this button was moved up here, the learn more button that, you know, takes them to maybe proper documentation or details about the solution. And so this was what I was pointing out earlier anyway. And then we have the rest of the page, and then maybe sign up or what have you. So that's what I just wanted to point out earlier.
Rex, actually at the side-by-side button, I have took the inspiration from Adobe's official website of where they are selling their products like Photoshop, Illustrator, and they have a small cards, a small brief about what the product is about, and two small buttons at their left and right, and they are just quite a small button. They aren't much disturbing the view of the background or any card. So that's my thinking.
I think it makes sense. Like I said, at the end of the day, this is like a proposition. You are the ones that know where the shoe pinches with regard to implementation with code. And so this back and forth is essential so that we can know where to meet in the middle and what actually fits what we are trying to do. So I noticed Lee pointed out in the charts that there are no specific demos or maybe elaborate presentations of each solution. So having multiple or more than two buttons in the cards might not work. And so that's also something we can consider as well. And maybe adjustments can be made to this. But with regard to the spacing around the card in general, I think a format like this can actually help, since it's on a mobile device. And even though things have to be small, we also have to account for some space to give the design that space to breathe and as well convey the message that we're trying to pass across. So it's just something to consider and think about. Thank you.
Prem, what don't you like about the buttons in the mobile view?
Actually, there is a kind of it's the buttons are taking a lot of space in the cards, and it is making button inconsistent. Cards inconsistent, and
No. The cards are consistent. The cards consistently have the same size buttons, and that's, you know, to what Rex is saying. That's what happens in mobile view. Usability, well, almost comes before what you're trying to present, or you need to. It has to be usable before you focus on what you're presenting, and which is kind of a shame because it's kind of frustrating. But yeah, if your fingers can't hit the demo or the subscribe or the learn more,
okay,
like, well, then it doesn't.
Yeah.
Then what you're presenting doesn't matter nearly as much. How is it not consistent with those larger buttons?
Let me show you. I have shared my screen probably. Yeah, no, is it visible? So basically, this is the place where I took inspiration from. So basically, in
sorry to interrupt, Prem. It is not.
Okay.
See how that works? You don't even have to ask. It was almost $4. You did a great job of catching yourself, Prem. It was so close.
Yeah. Now it is visible.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oops, that is at $4 now.
Okay.
All
So
right. Wonderful.
basically, this is the place where I took inspiration from. This is the products page of Adobe, where they sell their products. And here, this is the section of the cards. And here you can see.
Yes. Hurry up. Yep. Show them overview.
Yeah. And you can see here. The aspect ratio
Yeah,
of the
okay.
cards
Great.
remain. Yeah.
That works as well. I mean, yeah, you could make them slightly smaller. Good, great. I don't know why we're talking about this much. They do show the icons in the upper right-hand corner
Yeah.
as quite small. Arguably, there's very little reason to show that. They could have changed the background of the card to make it a little more engaging if that's why they were leaving the icons. It is important for them to have the logo of the product. But yep, yeah. So good point. So they also delineate and give space between the information and the actions with that horizontal line. So that's worth noting. But yeah, Premsos and the buttons themselves are, there's lots of margin between them, which makes it nice in case you have extra fat fingers.
Yeah.
Not you, I mean, but you know. Yeah. But yeah, that's a good call out. I don't know that the other one takes up more space. I don't know that it's a detractant, or what you had stated, I think, was that the buttons of that style make the cards inconsistent. It's like, well,
yeah,
maybe that isn't what you meant to say, because that's not true. The cards are consistent. They consistently have the same style buttons. But whether or not we could save some space by making them smaller like this, you know, sure.
Okay. Actually, what I was telling that the cards here are consistent. They consist of same aspect ratio, and when we go into the mobile view, the aspect ratio remains constant. So that's the reason what I am emphasizing, that the aspect ratio of each card is constant, even in the mobile view. Sure, we can remove some of the stuffs, like we can remove some text to make it perfectly aligned with the perfect aspect ratio. So that's the reason I am trying to make it more consistent, as we can see in the desktop version, if we see in tablet, or if you see in a mobile. So cards should be consistent for me.
All right.
Yeah. I think you have to finish off your sentence there, because otherwise you end up in the same place. Ideally, the cards, whether they're displayed in desktop view or mobile view, remain consistent in their size and don't change size. Then that makes sense, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Yep. One of the drawbacks is you can see the amount of white space difference between the cards. It's always a give and take when you either resize or you don't resize. So Adobe Acrobat Pro, they've had that that's their first product, and they had it for a long time. They've gotten good at like making it super concise into one sentence. For some of the other products, it's not as good, and so what they end up having to do is there's a lot of space in some, not very much in others. You could argue that inconsistency makes your OCD flare, or you could argue it the other way, that the inconsistency in card size makes it flare. And so, yeah, good. Yeah. Either way, it's trade-offs. I wouldn't necessarily suggest that one is, outright better than the next. It probably is. It's generally the case that you do prefer for your cards to be, that are a collection of things, to be uniform in size. It is more aesthetically appealing for a collection of things to be uniform in size. Whether or not they change shape, though, as the page itself resizes, I'd be curious to read some research on that. Whether or not that is discombobulating for people, whether or not that they lose the sense of where they were. If you change them enough, certainly they might wonder if they navigated to a new page.
Yeah.
But otherwise, there's a number of other elements that, sometimes that change shape. I mean, on the rest of the page, they do. It isn't always the case, like you're pointing out, it's not always the case that the things inside of a grid change shape. So I mean, I'm glad you brought up the point because it's worth pondering over. The fact, the nicety of something that's confined to a particular shape and size. If all that needs done, if it's in a collection, if all that needs done is rearrangement, is there an advantage to not reshaping that thing?
Yeah.
Rhoda was gonna say something.
Yeah. Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Rhonda.
Okay, so I was just going to point out the Adobe. Sorry, could you like go back to that screen, the one from Adobe?
Prem eventually.
Let's see if you're still sharing the screen.
Yeah. Let me go to that.
Okay.
Entire screen. I think you can share my screen.
I can't. I don't know if others can.
$6, my friend. $6. It's amazing.
You need to
It's gonna be-
reshare, Prem.
Sorry, can anybody else see the screen? I can't really see it.
No, we can't. Prem, you need to reshare your screen.
Yep.
Or just paste the link in. Yeah, okay. I'll share.
Okay, cool. So, talking about these buttons, in essence, the previous design Rex shared. So he made a statement about rule of thumb, right? So if you notice, this is the web view. If you go over to the mobile view, so let's assume you like navigate and let's just see, very good, the mobile view. So you notice that the card is a lot more expanded, right? And this is like showing this way because you're actually displaying this from your PC, right? If I check out this mobile view on my phone, there's a lot more spacing around it because of like the buttons and the thumb as well. So one of the major disadvantages with going with this option, rule of thumb again, users like have varying sizes of thumbs, right? And I could click on a button and it clicks on a different thing, especially if they're in like close proximity, like they're too close to each other. So if you are to work with something like this, you want to look at the distance between each button and also the height of the buttons. So you're not using the same height that you're using for a web view because that's like a mouse and the mouse is clickable even to the tiniest things, right? But then I could have difficulties trying to click on a button if it's too small and too close to each other. So if you're trying to work with this, good and fine, you need to consider spacing and proximity. But then if you're working with the other option, it gives you more freedom, right? Because with whatever part of the screen you're at, you can always click and you know you're clicking just to one button, as opposed to this where it's like side by side. So there are like advantages and disadvantages to it. So I would just suggest that if you're done, whichever one you work with, we could like test it out and see the responses that we get from people actually using it in real time.
Good, Gaurav. What's next?
All right.
That's great. That's great. Good stuff, brother.
All right. So let's move to the next item. We covered more than half of the meeting on products page. So next up we have an item from Karthik. So Karthik is not with us. So let's skip his item. So next up is from Devita Som, updating theme. So Devaditya is with us. So Devaditya would like to say something about this PR. Okay, he's not with us, but he's on the call.
Because he was like
working on updating the theme style, the color scheme, which is declared in the theme style. I think like he found some disparity in the code, so that was the update he was working on. But like we would need to be like sure that this update does not change the other pages too. Like it's a small update, but will affect all of the pages. So this need to be reviewed carefully.
All right. I'll ask for Ritik's review on this.
No, yeah, look, it's not worth changing. If you go back for a minute, I think what he was intending to point out is that, first of all, I don't know why he's changing it to the wrong color. I mean, those two colors that he's changing to are not part of the theme 3A, B, D. Yeah. So anyway, it's too bad that he can't hear. He's not on because those are definitively the wrong colors. What he was pointing out is an accurate bug. I mean, this fix needs rejected, but what he was pointing out is an accurate bug that if you notice that the two lines in red, they're pointing to the color Keppel, or that one of the green colors, the darker of the two greens. And as it turns out, that hex color is actually for the Caribbean green, not the Keppel green. So, you know, a couple of years ago, as contributors who were working on this, probably got the two confused and set the Caribbean green as the Keppel green. And oops. And so I think he's noticing that and was going to swap them out. And we can do that. It just care needs to be taken to ensure that throughout the rest of the code, where someone thought they were using Caribbean green or the lighter color, anyway, care needs to be taken if you're going to switch them out, and it's fine. Of the particular color choice that he changed it to, he accidentally got it wrong. Anyway, so yeah, let's move on.
All right. So next update is from Shreya, from switching to projects to products, all the routings. Shreya would like to say or present anything. We can't hear you, Shreya. I see you're on mute. Okay. So till then, Shreya fixes her audio. Let's move to next item. So that's from Navansh, update the Twitter logo to X. So that's great. I don't think we need to review it. So yeah, good work, Navansh. So next up is from Parth. He added up a new event for STO Virtual Con. So that's again a good update. It will be merged tonight.
So for the banner of the STCon event, like Gaurav, you might need to like review the banner first. There was like the proportion is not.
Okay, I'll catch up on here. All right. Thanks for the heads up, Karan. So Hiren, you're up next. Although we reviewed this blog, so any quick status or comment from you?
All right, so I'm sharing my screen.
I'm sharing, so you can. Okay.
So this is the blog, and you told me to change the image, and I'll change the image provided by Ritik Saxena. That's all.
All right. Yeah.
There's who's presenting? Yeah.
I was just saying. Yeah, I was just saying if here the image looks as cute, so if you can maintain the aspect ratio.
Yeah, we might have to start charging for folks that don't maintain aspect ratio. we might. I'm thinking a $10 surcharge on this one because it's just so obviously wrong.
All right, so I will fix the aspect ratio.
Cool. Okay, great. All right, fine. Since you're being so nice about it, there's no surcharge. There's no. Great. Okay, so you've got there's a blog post here that that we had written a year and a half ago, and that since then people have tried to get reposted. And here's the thing: is we're not trying to be the service mesh centric organization anymore. So this is still a good post to put out. We still do have cloud native training that people can take and labs that they can walk through, ultimately a certification that we would like to release. And so it's a nice title that we're not talking about service mesh specifically. We do say layer 5 twice, introduction to layer 5 learning resources, discover learning paths of layer 5. They're both nice statements, but I wonder if we couldn't make one of them more specific to what those paths are or what people might be learning, just as a point of feedback. Hiron, this was originally written by Anita. I don't know. The one thing I'm hesitant about, if you want to get your name on the byline, I would suggest just starting with a new post, because what's inevitably going to happen here is I'm going to end up rewriting half of what's written. I can give you feedback. You probably won't get it. And that's in part why we never landed it with Anita, because it needed rewriting. And so
I'll change the name.
Yeah, and the thing is it's kind of frustrating because I'd like for your name to be there. So it's frustrating for me, but it shouldn't be there, is what I'm saying, is because it's going to have to be halfway rewritten. And if you're incapable of doing it, then your name can't be there. And so, I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Let's keep it the layer 5 team. That will be
Layer 5 team
good for both sides.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating for me because I'd really much rather have your individual names there. It's just that it shouldn't say half of what it does. If you can get it changed and it doesn't need rewriting, then good. But do you know what you would change? Do you think it's ready?
Yeah, it's almost ready.
Okay. So then no, your name can't be there because half of it needs to change. So
I will change it to Anita.
no, not that, not her either. That's you're missing the point. So
Layer 5 team.
Yeah, good. Hey, so do you have a different topic you're thinking about writing on?
Not currently, but I will if I get an idea.
Okay, I got one. Aspect ratios. What are they? How do you maintain them? How do you ensure that your images scale with and maintain ratio? How do you use calc? How do you use calc in CSS? Is it better to use VW than it is just regular width? Why doesn't CSS let you combine max height and max width both? I think you could wrap all that up into a kind of an interesting blog post, something that you might, learn some things that are relevant to you as well at the same time.
All right. I will research about it and then write.
I think that'd be great because it'd be educational to me as well, to all the rest of us. So.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Hiren. So let's move to next item. That's from Kushal. So Kushal is not on the call, I guess, but we'll review his PR. So he added up a widget on the blog section. So this is how it looks. Any quick comments for Kushal? If not, let's move to next item.
Awesome. Other than it's inconsistent padding, but probably that, I don't know that it has to be. Is the whole thing clickable or is it just the image?
The whole thing.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Oh.
Does everyone think that it should be right there above the categories or interspaced between other
Well,
things?
I was thinking, if anything, for starters, it should start from, everything should start from, all the cards should at least start from the same line. So if you go up, you notice the join the conversation is probably on the same line with the search bar, and that looks weird. So if anything, all those things should come down. If it's at the top, it's not a bad idea either. If we are trying to get people to join our discussion forums, prioritizing that and putting it up there, it's not bad. It's a smart idea. And I'm also looking at the padding. So there's acres of space on both sides. I don't know if this is how the page has always been, or if this is, you know, the format that is being targeted, but could something better be done? Maybe the cards in the middle have a bit more space around them. So the grid there that goes all the way down, could there be a bit more space? Yes, that one right there. So between vertical space and horizontal space as well, to account for both those, you know, the large space you have on the left and on the right, and then at least it reduces it. It probably doesn't get rid of it completely because that's a lot of space, but it reduces it considerably and maybe make it look a bit nice. But primarily, during the conversation should start on the same line that the other cards start from. I think that's one thing that stands out. Then maybe the search bar is a bit longer to fill up that space. My 2 cents.
Yeah. Yep. That wasn't what yeah, good. Yeah, the stuff that you mentioned has been there for a long time. Although I think the things that you just said are certainly the one that you'd said about the widgets in the right-hand side being off kilter, like uneven with the controls, and then where the blogs start. There's that's probably generally good advice. You were saying like you could override that and kind of ignore it if you really, really, really wanted to promote the discussion forum and wanted to get it out there at all costs, even if it meant, you know, some confusing UX.
Oh no, I meant whether that's the case or not, it should go down. That's what I meant, actually, because it's actually not.
I would like to point one thing, 2 things more, that the widgets which you have added, its border radius is a bit off, because most of them have a slightly border radius, and it has nearly, I think, probably 16 or 12 pixels border radius. That's huge for the consistency it doesn't maintain here. And that the navbar looks a bit weird, that I can see it, because navbar is too much in the center. It appears a bit small. Navbar.
Okay. All right.
The which bar? The one on the right hand side. The
navbar. The navbar component, navigation bar.
Oh, I see.
Why is it so weird from all the page? Well, let me have a look.
Yeah. Do you mean the horizontal row that has the search bar and the grid view single page? Yeah. I think, it does look a little bit weird. I think there's a couple of reasons why it might look a little off. One, it doesn't have rounded corners. 2, it's way over there by itself, kind of free floating. And we have like to Rex's point, we don't really have a well-established tool area like we kind of do, because there's 2 things that are on the same horizontal space, but then so that doesn't help it. And then it might be that it's using Caribbean green and not, which is the lighter color, and not the slightly darker Keppel green. And then which like kind of throws it off a little bit. And then it has, it's like black and white on the other side, which is super high contrast. And so,
And
yeah,
between that grid, that button of grid and the search bar, it seems something is missing there. Like some button must be there which isn't rendered. So basically, if we have to tackle it, we can increase the size, width of the search bar. It will make it look a hell lot of better. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Prem. I'll let you make comments on Figma if you got any more suggestions. So
Yeah, sure.
On this one, just really briefly on this one, Rhoda is thinking of taking some of the existing designs that are in Figma and iterating on them a little bit. So I suspect she's been listening to the things that Rex had just said and Prem had just said. And so maybe we'll see what she comes back with.
all right. That's great.
Yeah, I'm sorry about this, Garv. Rhoda, one other thing that, well, it bugs me, and if you don't mind scrolling down the page a little bit toward the tags, I don't know that this might be something that Rhoda can help address. But it's also our own fault where, well, there's a couple of things. I mean, one, you see how on the right-hand side, our widgets panel, or whatever we call the right-hand side, is it's a little bit longer than the 10 or so, or 8 or what have you, blog posts. So the page itself is slightly uneven. The tags, we let the people go wild, I guess. And I'm not pointing blame or anything like that, but rather there's some amount of UX that Rhoda might think through in terms of how we can handle an overflowing set of tags. And then there's some amount of potentially Karan or Gaurav or others going through and maybe suggesting where we can consolidate or eliminate. Like there's the SMP one, it says SMP, and then the other one says Service Mesh Performance, and they refer to the same thing. One is just spelled out as an example of where we might consolidate. So, or in some cases, if we only have, excuse me, if we only have one of a thing, should we have more, or should we eliminate it? Anyway, Gaurav, back to you. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay then. So let's move to next item. We have 4 minutes left. So that's from Gautam, fix responsiveness issues and some additions on GitOps page. Do we have Gautam on the call? If not, let's move to next item.
I hate to do this to you. Gaurav. The GitOps pages, I just haven't seen them, much of them. I mean, I've seen, but we link to them off the quote unquote mega menu, off the global navigator. Is that right?
Yeah.
And how many GitOps pages do we have? Is it just the one?
And we link the snapshot page over here to learn more.
Oh, I see. Okay, there's 2 GitOps pages. Okay. Yeah. Yep. And install. And yeah, it's too bad we don't have a second button, or too bad we don't have more content for a second button. If you go back up, the other one has an install as well. Oh, okay.
Yep.
So we just listed 2. Okay, thanks for that. I just wanted to.
All right. Okay, so Abhinav Tripathi is with us. So Abhinav would like to quickly talk about your updates.
Yes, this is what I did on community handbook FAQ page. I just added text hierarchy in the page to make it look good. That's it. And also this was my first contribution. So thank you.
Okay, yeah, first contribution, that's cool. Okay, let's get this PR reviewed. Okay, then. So next up is from Shivankar. So Shivankar, okay, so we don't need to discuss this community profile for Rex. So let's move to Meshi.io update. So that's from Charu.
I just want to ask, since yesterday, I could just comment on the meeting minutes. I could not edit them.
Oh yeah, so
That's
we
it.
do have procedure for that.
Thank
So
you.
I'll let make sure you join the newcomers call. So in that we
Yes.
discuss about how
Yes.
to get access and other stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So let's discuss the Meshi.io update. So the committee page. So we haven't looked at the committee page in the website meeting before. So let's take a look at that. So is Charu with us today? Nope. I guess this is the old one, not the latest one. Karan, right?
The PR was not related to community page. That was some other contributor.
Okay.
Char was not working on the community page.
All right.
Okay, wait, let me share this screen.
So have we fixed this banner yet? Like, do we have Rex? Is that still the design on the Meshi.io community page?
I think it still is. I was reaching out to there's this I noticed you texted or you tagged Victoria. I think she's a newcomer. She seems to have some knowledge on or some expertise with maybe manipulating vectors of some sort. That's what I figured. So maybe she could also help out with
maybe, yeah, I doubt that she does.
Community page. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I doubt that she does. It's kind of the whole thing overall is it's, I don't know how many people are going to scroll past the, like, join our talented community.
But then again, what I was thinking was this year, which of the two pages most likely needs that image more? Is there any SMP has to do with performance and well, it's this service mesh performance in general, and so possibly there's a connectivity involved in all of that. The idea that I think that image is giving is some form of connectivity, some interaction between different points. So if SMP doesn't necessarily project that idea, it just might be that it's the SMP page that we might need to look for. It's a wild suggestion. I know it might, be very much frowned upon, but it's something worth considering. What if we could actually get a better image for the SMP hero page and as opposed to this one on the community page, or if we could find a better option for the community page as well, that's fine and good as well. I don't have
sure. Yeah. Yeah. Either way, actually that isn't, the image isn't the concern as much as that people won't scroll past the hero necessarily, or know that there's that there's more to it, or that the most important info
still down on
yeah. Like, because if they do,
we're talking about the size now, it's quite large. It's the height. It's a lot. Exactly.
Yeah, that's more of a thing. Yeah, it's more of like, because if they do, they're like, oh wow, this is intriguing, this is beautiful. Okay, well, I'm going to do what they're asking me to do. I'm going to join the talented community. They click and they're gone because they go somewhere else. It's like, okay, but like for the reference, for the reference info, people have to scroll past this every time. If they ever, outside of that one-time use, they have to scroll past this to get to the reference info. And it's like, it was almost better if it's like that's the end of the page call to action is like, hey, here's all the info you're looking for. By the way, here's the thing you should do if you're going to leave. If you're going to leave the page, here's what you should do. Go join the community. Which is really weird that I'm telling this to Rex, because it's like, like every other conversation I have with Rex, I'm being schooled. It's like, oh no, Lee, listen, Lee, that was a good idea, but
I don't think that's true, but it's fine.
oh no, I think it's true. And then I end up sitting there quietly saying, God damn it. Yeah, Rex is right. All right, fine.
I'll probably think about it and see if there's something we can do. Maybe go with background vectors like we did on the solutions page. Probably not an image. Maybe we could do something in that nature that works.
Yeah, or squish it a bit, or like the issue. If you can try to eliminate the image from your mind, because hey, whether we use it here or on the other site or on both, no problem. I don't really have a comment like it works on both or it doesn't work on both. Either way, the comment is more, hey, how do I get engaged? Hey, this looks like a good project. How do I get engaged? And that's the question. And sure, getting engaged in the Slack community is absolutely, a primary call to action. But for the rest of them that are,
there's more.
Yeah.
I think I get that. I get that. I'll see if I can do something about it, and maybe I'll discuss that in the next meet.
Yeah. Also, someone may or may not have pointed out, I don't know. I wonder, this is for fun, and maybe there's people on the call that, that would want to have fun with this. It's from the guidance of other UXers here, and that is that those two colors, that the icon and the circle and the color, I wonder if they what if they're making something better.
I want to speak. It will be too long. I don't know. I don't know. We're pressed for time, and so maybe we could just discuss that on Slack, I guess.
Okay. In the meantime, I'll just be gouging my eyes out with a pen over here. All right. Okay. Thank you, Gaurav.
Okay. Thanks, Rex, for showing that. All right. So since we are 5 minutes over, so it's time to wrap. Make sure you take feedback and work on that. So it's time to wrap the call. So make sure you subscribe to the community calendar. And if you didn't got your fill today, make sure you join the newcomers meet. And this week, I think we have a CI meeting also. I'm not sure. We'll clear that in Slack. So do press this big fat button. It will sync all the meetings to your calendar, and you can catch the recording of this live stream on YouTube. So go subscribe it. So again, bye all. Thanks for joining. Good updates and happy Monday.
Bye.
Thanks, Gaurav.